Good morning, folks. This is Uche Njoku, Sneaker Principal, and welcome to this episode of the Sneaker Principal podcast. It is sometime around, right there, right there. It is 4:41 in the morning. Running a little late this morning. When you have those mornings where the alarm goes off, you wake up and you lay there. Not because you're like snoozing or you need more sleep, but you just lay there. Your body just says, stay still. So this morning I stayed still. Then I sat up, grounded my feet to the ground, felt the cool, faux hard floor. Faux hardwood floors. So I'm sure these are not real hardwood floors, but I sat there and just felt the cold floor under my feet, on my skin. And I sat there. I did my morning prayers. And my prayers are more like a conversation. And I just tell God, thank you. Thank you for life. Thank you for the air in my lungs. Thank you for my children. Thank you for my family. Thank you for everyone who's linked to me, whether good or bad, because there's a balance in the universe that requires good or bad. That requires good and bad. At least that's the way we perceive it. I'm pretty sure the universe doesn't see good or bad. It's just about our perception. So, and then I got up and, washed my face, brushed my teeth, made some coffee. And then I was like, you know what? Let me clear the dishwasher. So I cleared the dishwasher. My pan last night from making my steak, I washed that out. And, just the normal routine stuff that I really do enjoy personally, because these things allow me to be human. These things don't put me in a position where I have to be about title or anything else other than just being Uche in the moment who needs to empty the dishwasher, put the plates away, put the cups away, put the sippy cups away, and then anything that needs to go in goes in. Then I made my coffee. I love using the how do I put this? The mechanical nature of boiling water, putting the coffee grinds into the coffee press, pouring hot water in there, then putting the press over, letting it sit for 20 minutes, then pressing, then pouring my coffee out. No mechanical coffee maker or anything like that. And it's funny thing is it tastes different. It literally does taste different versus having the coffee in the coffee machine pouring to the coffee pot. It might be psychological. And the great thing about it is nothing wasted because I make one cup. If I wanted to make more than one cup, I can make more than one cup, but I make one cup. And I add a little bit, half and half, and my coffee is done. And again, I get to be human. Nothing more, nothing less. And I keep saying I get to be human because too often we forget that we are human, that we are living beings living a very real existence that is grounded in breath, movement, attention, self-awareness. And what we choose to do with this gift, because the fact of the matter is right now, there are thousands and thousands of people who are transitioning to the afterlife or the next phase of universal existence. They're not making it past this moment. And there's some who are on the edge of it. They're grasping for another chance, another breath, another opportunity. They're saying to themselves, I wish I could have, I regret not doing. I wish I could have done more of. I wish I could have been healthier. I wish I could have lived more. I wish I could have fixed that relationship or whatever it is that they wish they could have done. They are transitioning. And they will never have that opportunity because once it's done, it's done. And we will mourn them, we will cry for them, we will memorialize them. But for sure, we'll move on until it happens to us. So right now, as you're listening to this or you're watching this, I'm asking you, are you being human? Are you taking the time out to feel your body, to feel your existence, to connect with your humanity, the weaknesses of our bodies, the strengths of our souls? Are you allowing yourself to connect to that? And then what are you doing with it? So the title of this podcast is The Sneaker Principle. And of course, principle having to do with my current position as an educator, as a school principal. And I've chosen to use this platform to talk about a plethora of things having to do with me. And I always come back to me talking to educators, me targeting school leaders, because that's what I am. And over the course of the past 20 years, having been everything from a dean to assistant principal to a principal here in New York City. And if you add my time in Las Vegas and California, I would say you could push that a little bit, over almost 22 years. And in that time, I've seen myself become something other than human. Not physically. I didn't become a monster. I didn't become, a werewolf or some kind of hybrid creature. Just in my mentality and how I functioned and how I severely lacked self-awareness. How everything became about just making it to the next moment, to the next day, to the next challenge, to the next battle, to the next, conflict, to the next thing, the next problem. With very little room for just me being human, me laughing, me enjoying moments, me rushing. There were times I remember waking up almost every morning. It was like I would jump out of bed and oh my God, and I would jump in the shower and I would get dressed and I would iron and I would get in the car so I can get to work at a certain time. And that became my rhythm every day. Every day. And then I would stay at work because I was championing this notion that I had to be the first man in, last man out on a daily basis. Because that made me a great worker. It made me a great educator. It made me a great everything. But then I was getting sick. My body was failing me. Before I knew it, I was tipping over 300 pounds. My first steps in the morning out of bed were painful, like pins and needles from my feet all the way up to my knees. I would have these heart palpitations where my heart would be racing or just making it one flight of stairs, I would be breathing so hard. I'll be sweating profusely throughout the day just sitting there. I'd be so exhausted, driving to work that I'd be falling asleep. Between sleep apnea and being pre-diabetic and all these other things that were happening with me, extreme high blood pressure, because I was so focused on being great for the work and not being great for myself. And that was my 20s and 30s, y'all. My 20s and 30s. Supposed to be the best years of my life. And those the years almost killed me. Because I was so busy not being human. And here I am now in the last phase of my 40s. And things are very different. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with someone who said to me, "How old are you?" And I said, 48. And they paused. And it's funny because when people pause like that, you're like, okay, what are you about to say? And the next word was, you do not look like you're 48. Then I'm thinking, wait a minute, were you talking about look like I'm 70? No, they said, you look younger than most men in their 30s. And I said, thank you. I mean, I know this face right here, it's not necessarily, the prettiest face amongst 30-year-olds. But I knew what they meant. My energy level, my mental acuity, my physical presentation, having once been like tipping at 350 to being under 190, having a flat stomach, actually having a six pack, and I'm going to say it right now, yes, having a six pack, something that I never had until my 40s. I mean, there was a small window. No, no, in my 40s, yeah. My first time ever seeing six pack, like I was like, oh snap, I can see clearly my abdominal muscles. I was 40 years old. I was 40 years old. And now it's like a mainstay. And I am at the tail end of 40s. And a big part of it has to be with me saying, I'm going to prioritize my humanity. I'm going to prioritize the gift that I've been given, this life, this body, this mind, my talents, my gifts, my passions, the things that make Uche Njoku, Lawrence Njoku unique is what I'm going to prioritize. Because everything else, honestly, without, I would still be me. And I'm saying this, in closing, to you who are watching this, listening to this, my colleagues, you principals, you assistant principals, you leaders who have made your school building, your job, the end all be all of your existence. And don't get me wrong, I love what I do. I love what I do. But what I do is not me. I get to do what I do because of me. I am better at what I do because I've prioritized me. And the fear that stops a lot of us from being great, because we are always worried about, oh my God, what would happen if X, Y, Z? What would happen? What would people think about this? Oh, I can't do that. I remember a colleague of mine saying to me, I can't wear sneakers like you. Like, that's not professional. And you get to do that, but I don't get to do that. And I was like, are we talking about shoes? Are we talking about pieces of plastic and leather and whatever else man-made materials that are meant to cover our feet so we could protect it from being cut up and sliced up? That is what you're telling me right now that you can't do. But I get to do it because I'm different. I'm a human being just like you. And when I walk into my building, I put all of my mental acuity and my energy and my passion into making sure that my building is running well, the kids have access to what they need, my teachers are functioning on a high level, and everyone knows that they're loved and appreciated. What does the things of my feet have to do with that? Apart from me choosing to be comfortable or not busting my ass like I did years ago when I had to break up a fight in a pair of wingtips, and I slipped with both feet in the air. It hit the ground, and I thought I broke my hip. I digress. Brothers and sisters in arms, Ask yourself today, am I being human? Am I being the human that is me? Am I allowing myself to really love me and allowing all the things that are amazing about me to shine through every day and let that be the banner by which I do what I do on a daily basis versus being an automaton that is grounded by the expectations of others. I know some of you are like, oh, but listen, just think about that. Ask you that question. How could you be better? How can you be a better leader? How can you be a better friend? How can you be a better everything in your role by being more human in every sense of the word? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Uche Njoku. I wish you an amazing day today, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Be well.